The private jet video that Angel Reese posted might have just ended her career in Chicago, and what she did next has the entire basketball world calling her out. While her teammates were getting destroyed by New York in their final game of the season, Angel was already dancing on TikTok, bending over, twerking, and showing off moves that would make any doctor question her so-called back injury. This isn't just about missing one game anymore. This is about a pattern of behavior that's got even her biggest supporters turning their backs on her. And wait until you hear what her own teammates are allegedly saying behind closed doors. Before we dive into this absolute mess, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated on all the latest WNBA drama because, trust me, this story is just getting started and you don't want to miss what happens next. Angel Reese sat out Chicago's season finale, claiming she had a back injury so severe she couldn't even suit up for 20 minutes of basketball. The official injury report listed it as back soreness/illness, which already sounds suspicious because which one is it exactly? But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Just hours after the Sky lost 91-86 to the Liberty, Angel was posting videos of herself boarding a private jet, dancing with friends, and doing moves that would make any physical therapist lose their mind. We're talking full bending, twisting, gyrating, basically everything you absolutely cannot do with a legitimate back injury. The internet exploded immediately, and for good reason. Fans started commenting things like, "Your back seems fine now," and "Guess that injury healed real quick." And honestly, they have every right to be furious. This isn't some random regular season game in January. This was the final game of the season, a chance for the team to end on a high note, and Angel chose TikTok views over her teammates. One fan even pointed out that she was doing moves in that video that most healthy people can't even do, let alone someone with a supposedly injured back that kept them from playing professional basketball. But that wasn't the whole story, because what happened next would shock everyone even more. Sources close to the Sky organization are now saying that Angel's relationship with the team had been deteriorating for weeks, maybe even months. Remember when she publicly criticized her own teammates earlier in the season? That wasn't just a one-time thing. Apparently, there's been ongoing tension in that locker room, and Angel's been at the center of it all. Multiple reports suggest she's been wanting out of Chicago since mid-season, and some insiders are even saying this whole injury situation might have been her way of forcing the team's hand. What makes this even more controversial is the timing. The Sky needed every player available for that final game, especially with playoff positioning on the line for next season's draft picks and team morale heading into the offseason. Instead, their supposed star forward was already mentally checked out, planning her vacation while her teammates were getting embarrassed on national television. And get this, she didn't just quietly leave town either. She made sure everyone knew about it by posting it all over social media like she was celebrating something. The comparison to other players makes Angel look even worse. When Caitlin Clark was getting absolutely hammered every single game during her rookie season, taking elbows to the face and getting shoved around like a pinball, she never missed a game unless absolutely necessary. Even when she's been dealing with legitimate injuries in 2025, she's been transparent about it and hasn't been caught dancing on social media hours later. That's the difference between a professional and whatever Angel Reese is trying to be right now. Speaking of Caitlin, the contrast between how these two handle adversity couldn't be more obvious. While Angel's out here creating TikTok content during team games, players like Caitlin and Sophie Cunningham are grinding through actual injuries, showing up for their teammates even when they're not at 100%. Sophie played through a shoulder injury for weeks without complaining once, and when she finally had to sit out, you didn't see her partying on Instagram the same night. That's called respect for the game and respect for your teammates. Two things Angel apparently never learned. Here's something that nobody's talking about but needs to be said. This pattern goes all the way back to her college days at LSU. Angel transferred from Maryland because of alleged issues with teammates and coaches, and the drama followed her to Baton Rouge. Sure, she won a championship there, but even that success was overshadowed by constant controversies and conflicts. Now in the pros, she's been benched for making statements detrimental to the team, she's publicly thrown shade at coaches and players, and she's created more headlines for her off-court antics than her actual basketball skills. The Brick Queen nickname that fans have been throwing around isn't just about her terrible shooting percentage either. It's about how she's been laying bricks in building relationships with teammates, coaches, and fans. When you shoot 39% from the field as a post player and then skip games to go on vacation, you're basically telling everyone that you don't care about winning or improving. You're just there for the paycheck and the Instagram followers. What happened next in this saga is where things get really interesting. The Sky organization released a statement that was about as generic as it gets, basically saying they support all their players' health decisions. But reading between the lines, you can tell they're not happy. Sources within the organization are saying that trade talks have already begun, and Angel's name is at the top of the list. The problem is, what team wants to take on a player who quits on her squad and then flaunts it on social media? Like and comment below if you think Angel should be traded or if the Sky should give her another chance, because this situation is far from over. The financial implications of this mess are staggering too. Angel had multiple endorsement deals lined up for the offseason, but several brands are reportedly reconsidering their partnerships after this latest incident. When you're trying to market yourself as a professional athlete, but you're acting like a social media influencer who happens to play basketball sometimes, sponsors notice. They want athletes who represent dedication and hard work, not someone who fakes injuries to go party. But here's the real kicker that nobody saw coming. Former WNBA players are now speaking out against Angel's behavior. Diana Taurasi, who never holds back, reportedly told someone close to her circle that this kind of behavior would never fly in her locker room. Sue Bird posted a cryptic tweet about professionalism that everyone knows was directed at this situation. When legends of the game are calling you out without even saying your name, you know you've crossed a line. The damage to Angel's reputation might be irreversible at this point. She's 22 years old, which some people use as an excuse, but Caitlin Clark is the same age and acts like a 10-year veteran. Aaliyah Boston is even younger and shows more maturity in one quarter than Angel has shown all season. Age isn't an excuse for unprofessionalism. It's just an excuse that enables bad behavior to continue. What makes this whole situation even more frustrating is that Angel actually has talent. She's 6'3", athletic, and when she's focused, she can dominate in the paint. But talent without discipline is worthless in professional sports. Every player in the WNBA is talented. That's why they made it to the highest level. The difference between stars and bench warmers isn't ability, it's commitment. And Angel's commitment seems to be to her TikTok algorithm rather than her team's success. The response from Sky fans has been absolutely brutal. Season ticket holders are saying they won't renew if Angel's back next year. Jersey sales have reportedly plummeted since this incident. The team's social media pages are flooded with comments demanding accountability. When your own fanbase turns on you this quickly and this decisively, it's a clear sign that you've lost the room completely. Meanwhile, other teams around the league are taking notes. The Fever, for example, have built a culture of accountability and teamwork that's the complete opposite of what's happening in Chicago. Players like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham set the tone by showing up every day, working hard, and putting the team first. That's why Indiana's trajectory is pointing up while Chicago seems to be imploding from within. The psychological aspect of this is fascinating too. Sports psychologists are saying that Angel's behavior shows signs of someone who's overwhelmed by the pressure and using avoidance tactics to cope. Instead of facing her struggles on the court, the poor shooting, the team conflicts, the coaching criticism, she's creating distractions and drama to shift attention away from her actual performance. It's a defense mechanism, but it's also career suicide in professional sports. Sources close to Angel's camp are trying to do damage control, claiming the back injury was real and that the dancing in the video wasn't as strenuous as it looked. But come on, we all have eyes. We can see her bending, twisting, and moving in ways that someone with a legitimate back injury simply cannot do. The fact that they're even trying to spin this shows how desperate they are to salvage what's left of her reputation. The timing of her next move will be crucial. If Angel comes back next season and balls out, plays every game, and keeps her mouth shut, people might forgive and forget. But if she continues this pattern of drama, excuses, and putting herself above the team, she'll be out of the league faster than you can say TikTok influencer. The WNBA doesn't have room for players who don't respect the game, especially when there are hungry rookies coming in every year who would kill for her opportunity. What's really sad about all this is that Angel had the potential to be a cornerstone player for the Sky. She was supposed to be part of the new generation that would elevate the league alongside players like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Instead, she's become a cautionary tale about what happens when ego and immaturity overshadow talent and opportunity. The league office needs to step in here too. The WNBA can't afford to have players openly mocking the injury reporting system and skipping games for vacation. If there are no consequences for this behavior, what message does that send to other players? What message does it send to fans who spend their hard-earned money on tickets expecting to see the best players compete? The integrity of the game is at stake, and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert needs to address this publicly. As this story continues to develop, one thing is becoming crystal clear. Angel Reese might have just played herself out of Chicago and possibly out of the league's good graces entirely. When you prioritize social media clout over professional basketball, when you fake injuries while your teammates are fighting, when you create drama instead of contributing to winning, you're not just hurting yourself. You're hurting the entire sport. The contrast with players like Sophie Cunningham couldn't be more stark. Sophie's out there taking charges, diving for loose balls, and doing all the little things that don't show up on stat sheets but win games. She's never once been accused of faking an injury or quitting on her team. That's the difference between someone who loves basketball and someone who loves the attention that comes with being a basketball player. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because this story is far from over, and the fallout from Angel's TikTok disaster is just beginning. The trade rumors, the team dynamics, the sponsor reactions, it's all going to explode in the coming weeks, and you'll want to be here for every shocking development.